Hey Navy Wrestling, we're only a few short weeks away from Blue and Gold Wrestle-Off Weekend. The duel in Dahlgren Hall on Friday, October 22nd is now a free event, so bring everybody that you can. Saturday, October 23rd, we are still hosting our tailgate right outside of Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. For tickets to this event, head to the link and type in promo code WRESTLING. This week I had the opportunity to sit down with 1983 grad Chip Molley. Chip spent 10 years in the Navy as a fighter pilot and test pilot, and after that became the CFO of companies like Under Armour, PetSmart, and Sprouts. Without further ado, Chip Molley.
Well, Coach Colat has a pretty renowned background as a wrestler and as a coach, and the idea that the Naval Academy was able to get him to come here was just really special. I think everyone knows not just what a special coach he is, but as a human being. And he's going to take this program to levels it hasn't seen for many, many years, and maybe it's never seen. And he just has a love for the sport, and he's been up in the bar ever since he's walked in the door. And I think it's exciting to me. I think Navy Wrestling is going to end up being the best team on the campus come very shortly, and it's going to stay that way for a long, long time. So I'm very excited that he's here. You know, I was not the best wrestler on the team, for sure. I had to work really hard at it, and my favorite memory really was just watching some of my classmates who were really good. I was in a really special class, wrestling-wise, and one of my classmates made it to the finals in the NCAAs, and a couple others were All-Americans. So it was just, even though I wasn't on the podium, watching classmates make it was probably my favorite memory. I think going to a service academy, I'm a little partial to Navy, but I think going to a service academy, it sets you up for a lifelong set of friendships, relationships, leadership opportunities. It's as a lot of people say, it's a great place to be from. But you can do with Coach Colette, I think you can reach all your wrestling dreams here if you work hard. But it's more than just wrestling. It's what's your life going to look like. And this is a place that's going to really allow you to do anything you dream. When I got in, it was just, I knew it was a place I couldn't turn down. I knew that it was going to open up doors for me, both in and out of the military. And so I just couldn't refuse. I just met a lot of great people. So to this day, I have friendships that I had back then. I mean, 30, 40, 50 people at a time. I just went to a football game this weekend. My high school wrestling coach, I took him actually. He's like, you know everybody here, but it's just a really close-knit group. Certainly it teaches you leadership. And like wrestling, it teaches you team. So everything is about the team. It's about something bigger than yourself. And that goes a long way. It goes a long way, not just in the military. It works really well in business, and it works really well as a parent. So that's some of the life lessons. But I do remember the summer where you get to go do surface line for a little bit. You do submarines for a little bit, Marines, different things like being on a submarine, and the captain of the sub does these angles and dangles, and a bunch of us just sat on one of the hallways and slid down our bottoms down the hallway of this nuclear powered submarine with nuclear missiles on it, or being at Quantico for a week of Marines and getting to throw grenades, and they're sitting in a CH-46 helicopter with your M16, and it takes off and yanks and banks and lands, and the back door opens and you come running out like you're gonna go out into the field. And it was just fun. Like there's a lot of things that you just never dreamt you'd get to do as a kid, and you had to pinch yourself sometimes. You know, when you come here and you graduate, you're given a lot of options. Typically the main ones, you can drive ships or submarines or be a Marine or fly. And I wasn't the kind of kid that said, "Oh, I just want to fly," but it just felt right to me, and so I pursued it and went off to flight school after graduation, and I wanted to fly jets once I got to flight school, and I was fortunate enough to get jets. And then when I was in jet training, I wanted to fly fighters, and next thing I know, I was a 24-year-old Navy fighter pilot in San Diego. So right after the movie Top Gun came out, which was a really good place to be. So I was a fighter pilot for 10 years and had a great time doing that, enjoyed it, really pushed myself to places I never thought I would go or be or, wake up. But then after that, I went back to grad school, I went to business school. I had a desire to then go into the business world, and so I did that. And I was very fortunate in the business world, traveled around several times, different jobs, and eventually found myself as the CFO of a Fortune 400 company, and had a great business career, a couple really name brand Fortune 400 companies that I've been the CFO at. I've been a board director on a number of companies, and I've been very blessed. And certainly the Naval Academy was the foundation. My wife and I, we live here in Annapolis. My wife it's been great. She's now the volunteer coach for cross country and track at the Naval Academy. We just sort of settled here the last couple years, so we've started sponsoring midshipmen, and we have all the girls from the cross country team over here, and we feel very, very welcomed in the city of Annapolis and with the Naval Academy. We have season tickets. We go to all the football games. Hopefully, post-COVID, we can go to the wrestling matches this year, and so life is good for us. But generally, sort of semi-retired and enjoying life. Well, I love Annapolis. I grew up in Maryland and Baltimore, but my wife and I have lived in 10 different states, and we've finally made our way back to Annapolis. It was on our very short list of places to retire. It's just beautiful. The water's here. There's so many things to do. And if you're really comparing it, a little partial, but if you compare it to any other service academy, if you've ever visited any of the other service academies, one is very dreary. Another is in the middle of nowhere. And this one is just in a place where you actually, not only do you go to the academy, but you're part of the community, which is different than the others.